Hello, everybody. It is about 7 o'clock, and so there are several people who have messaged me and talked to me earlier today that are unable to be here live. And so I have told everybody that I am recording this, so that's what I'm doing. And so I will send out the recording tomorrow. But if you do hop on and join me, say hello in the comments. And if you have any questions, go ahead and post those in the comments. And at the end, I'll be happy to address any questions as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. And let's see if I can get that going. All right, let's see. All right, there we go. Let me get it back on number one. All right, and let's see, there's a chat. There's a little chat box. And so you can type in comments there as well. And so let's see. All right. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the Introduction to Gut Health. Want to help you learn how to manage your gut health so you can feel better, both physically and mentally. And so how to get the most out of this workshop. So I would highly recommend that you turn off everything that's operating in the background, including your email, any social media platforms, silence your cell phone, close your door, and just give yourself some time to relax and discover some new strategies to try to help you improve your gut health and learn how to make some healthy meals at home. And I did send out to everybody the gut health workbook, so you should already have that, and that has some additional information for you as well. All right, so let me start off with asking a few questions. Have you ever stayed home from work because you were experiencing diarrhea or pain? Have you ever turned down a social invitation because you were concerned about how you might be feeling that day? What about, do you ever find yourself not eating because you're afraid of how the food might affect you physically? Or when you do go out in public, are you looking to see where all the public restrooms are just in case, because you don't want to have an emergency? I don't know if any of that has happened to any of y'all. Are you ever afraid to leave home, even just to go for a walk around the block because you might start feeling bad or might have an emergency situation where you need to get to the restroom? Well, if you've answered yes to any of those questions, I want to reassure you that help is here, that I am here and I do want to help you and I do understand how you're feeling. So you are in the right place tonight, or when you're watching this replay, if you want to help your body get back to working order, if you want to help build up a strong immune system, and we're going to talk about why that and gut health is related in a few minutes, or you want to improve your body's digestive system, and you want to feel comfortable going out in public again, right? And don't forget, if you stay to the end of this session, I do have a special bonus that I'll send out to you. So we're going to talk about and learn what is gut health. We're going to talk about symptoms of poor gut health. We're going to talk about what exactly is leaky gut syndrome. And I know I've put a little bit out on social media and some of the emails lately, but in case you haven't been able to catch those, I want you to understand what leaky gut syndrome actually is. I want you also to learn what some common health issues are that are related to leaky gut syndrome, and these might surprise you. And we're going to also talk about some simple ways to maintain and help heal your gut. All right, so let me tell you just a little bit about me and why I am here and presenting this with you. So I'm Leah. I'm a speech language pathologist. I'm also a health and wellness coach. I primarily help women who have fatigue and pain, brain fog, bloating, digestive issues, trouble fitting in clothes, hormonal issues, by using primarily nutrition and lifestyle modifications. We focus on small daily steps. Most of the people I work with have digestive issues and even autoimmune issues as well. So why am I qualified? Well, I actually have personal experience. I have experienced a lot of the same symptoms that we're going to talk about tonight, like the fatigue, the digestive issues, headaches, trouble losing weight, having pain. And over the past 16 years, I have used the same things that we're going to be talking about today to help my overall health. I've diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease that affects my thyroid gland, also IBS and SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I wanted to help others, so I went back to school and I became a board certified health and wellness coach. I don't want you to suffer as long as I did or to spend as much money as I did while I was searching for answers and I still wasn't getting any help, because that is just not good, right? Many of the clients that I've worked with have been able to feel better. They've been able to gain control over cravings, not have the bloating and the digestive issues, lose some weight, even been able to have better sleep and less stress. We figured out the root causes of their issues. And when they begin to feel better and realize there's hope, to me, that's gratification. I just feel blessed, and that's a reward for me helping them. So let's get started and dig into our topic tonight. So your gut can be a very unpleasant and embarrassing topic to even think about or talk about, even with close friends, family, and sometimes your doctor, right? I mean, who wants to sit around discussing belching, bloating, constipation, or pain? And so this is a common analogy. Think about your gut like a garden. The good plants or the good bacteria keep the weeds, which is the bad bacteria, under control, although the weeds are never completely gone. And so there are good plant seeds, like the probiotics, are sometimes necessary if the good plants are getting killed off, okay? So sometimes the good plants are able to prevail over the weeds, but often they need nurturing, okay? Now, antibiotics, we know, are needed for various infections and other things that have affected us. However, they work by blocking vital processes in bacteria, and they either kill the bacteria or they stop them from multiplying. But unfortunately, antibiotics cannot differentiate between the bad bacteria that may be causing the bacterial infection and the good bacteria that belong in your gut. And so the antibiotics tend to wipe out everything in its path, okay? So that's why antibiotics are such a common factor in people who have poor gut health. So what is gut health? Well, and what is our gut? Basically, our gut is simply our digestive system from beginning to ending, right? From your mouth to your anus. And it's responsible for helping your body to work properly. So as the food is broken down, once we eat it, our gut absorbs the nutrients, and then it's dispersed into our body and helps our body function properly, right? That's from energy production to hormone balance to your skin health to mental health and even toxin and waste elimination. So we know, though, that processed foods can actually cause inflammation in the lining of your GI tract. That's your gastrointestinal tract, or the gut that I'll be talking about tonight. And this is the exact place where food is absorbed. So there have been numerous studies in the past 2 decades that have demonstrated the links between gut health and our immune system, our mood, our mental health, autoimmune diseases, endocrine diseases and disorders, skin conditions, and even there are some thoughts about it linked with cancer. So you can see that your gut plays a major part in your overall health, right? and our health actually begins in our gut. So what are some symptoms of poor gut health? And some of these you probably know because you're experiencing them. That's why you're here, right? But others you may not. Well, constipation is one, because a healthy gut has a pattern for you eliminating your stool, right? And the toxins. But if your schedule is off for any reason, it can result in constipation. And this is actually an indication that something just isn't working right. Other symptoms of poor gut health include an upset stomach. So you might have gas, bloating, diarrhea, even heartburn. Now, some people are surprised by this, but you could be experiencing sugar cravings due to an imbalance between the good and the bad bacteria in your body. You might be saying, why is that, Leah? Well, bad bacteria actually love sugar because it helps the bad bacteria multiply more quickly. So if you have a lot of sugar cravings, one reason could be due to you have your gut that is out of balance. Sometimes sudden weight changes like gaining or losing weight without making changes to your diet or even exercise habits can be a sign of an unhealthy gut. Other symptoms include sleep disturbances and fatigue. Did you know the majority of your body's serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter or like a chemical hormone that affects your mood and sleep, the majority of it is actually made in your gut. So if you have gut damage, it can impair your ability to sleep well. Also, skin issues like eczema, that can be caused by inflammation in your gut, which can cause irritations in your skin. Let me get a sip of water real quick. Another symptom of poor gut health, or another symptom, is food intolerances or allergies. Now, these can be caused by poor quality of bacteria in your gut. If your gut doesn't have the right amount of bacteria and other things like digestive enzymes, then it's possible you could develop food allergies and intolerances. So what is leaky gut syndrome? Well, it's still a gray area to doctors and kind of a mystery because they're still doing a lot of research and new data is coming out all the time. But they basically know that when you have leaky gut, you have increased intestinal permeability. And so what happens is your digestive tract starts to get tiny holes in it, so your food finds a way through the holes into your bloodstream instead of being digested properly and then eliminated. So the large particles of food should not be entering your bloodstream, right? And bacteria, toxins, and waste will pass into your bloodstream rather than being eliminated in your stool. So the question is, what causes leaky gut? Well, some of the things I've already mentioned, like antibiotics, poor food choices, you process foods, not getting enough sleep, and being stressed out. We're going to talk about more of those in a minute. But just know a lot of people develop chronic diseases and issues due to leaky gut. So I believe we're going to be hearing more and more about it in the future, and being educated is necessary, right? So what is dysbiosis? That's just a term that means an imbalance of bacteria in your gut. Some people also call the gut the microbiome. And so dysbiosis can just be an overgrowth of harmful bacteria, yeast, or parasites. Could also be a lack of the good bacteria that you need. Dysbiosis could also be any sort of bacteria growing in the wrong place in the gut. Like I mentioned, SIBO that I was diagnosed with, that small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Dysbiosis just means things are not working properly. So here is a picture of the lower part of your digestive system. And in leaky gut syndrome, substances basically leak through your small intestine into your bloodstream. It occurs because you have tight junctions that are opening and closing into your gut. and that controls what actually passes into the lining of the small intestine. But when you have leaky gut, those junctions aren't working properly, so it allows the substances to leak into your bloodstream. Now, here's an analogy that I've heard, and this might be useful and help you understand it better. Think about when we as women used to wear pantyhose. Now, I know I don't wear them anymore, and not very many people do. But let's just pretend you take a super tightly woven pair of pantyhose. You put it over a cup, and then you're going to fill that cup with water. So it would probably hold a good bit of water, right? But let's suppose that the pantyhose were really fishnet stockings. So if you know what those are, they're literally like a fishnet. They have really large holes. So what would happen if you tried to fill the fishnet stockings up with water? Well, the water would just run right through the holes, correct? And so that's what's happening when you have leaky gut syndrome. The partially digested food is seeping into your bloodstream from your gut. So in leaky gut syndrome, symptoms that you might have include bloating, gas, cramping, food sensitivities, aches and pains. Some common health issues that are related to leaky gut include people with celiac disease and Crohn's disease. Now, both of these illnesses have similar symptoms, but they're more severe. Celiac disease is actually an autoimmune disease where your body attacks the immune system, and in this case, the intestines. Crohn's disease is actually an inflammatory bowel condition. So another culprit for causing leaky gut is actually gluten. And I know you don't want to hear that, right? Because we all love our bread. But gluten does increase the intestinal permeability or the leaky gut. And a lot of research and data is coming out that says that it does that in people even if you don't have celiac disease. So let's talk about now some ways to maintain and heal your gut. The first is starting with your diet. That is the easiest and simplest way to do it, okay? It may be beneficial for some people to eliminate or to greatly reduce gluten in their diet in order to see an improvement in their gut health, okay? You probably want to seek some guidance from your doctor first to rule out any kind of structural organic abnormalities going on, and you can seek guidance from a qualified health practitioner to help you learn the best way and if you should eliminate or reduce, okay? Some people just try to eliminate it for 2 to 3 weeks and see if they notice a difference. Other people, if you think you do have a problem that's more severe, you can get tested for celiac disease, and so you can talk to your doctor about that. Another way to help your gut is to drink plenty of water. Now, I talk about this a lot, but it is so key for our body and for our gut to function right. So your body needs water to digest food, right? And speaking of water, I'm going to get a sip. It needs water to digest food, to heal, to process fats, and we have been told that about half of your body weight in ounces is what most recommendations say. Now that depends on other factors, of course, like age, gender, your activity level, your medical condition, and so forth, okay? But drinking plenty of water can help maintain your gut. Another thing to do is to decrease the highly processed and refined foods that contain a lot of sugar and chemicals, okay? Those types of food, especially the ones that promote a lot of sugar, can decrease the amount of good bacteria while increasing the amount of bad bacteria. Another thing to do is consume more whole organic foods, okay? These are like organic fruits and vegetables, unprocessed meats. These lower the inflammatory stress on your body and in your gut health as well. And so making good food choices is really key. Also, consuming high fibrous foods can help. These foods would include things like legumes, beans, peas, oats, bananas, berries, asparagus, leeks, dark green leafy vegetables. All those have numerous health benefits. Now, one note to be cautious about is oats, because some people they don't tolerate oats well, even those that say they're gluten-free. So you're going to have to kind of listen to your body with that. Other foods that can help your gut are fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and tempeh, and even fermented beverages like kefir and kombucha. They have live cultures that can help your gut break down foods and also improve your immune system, because they have good sources of the living bacteria, probiotics, right? Now, one caveat with fermented foods is sometimes when you do have an inflamed gut, the fermented foods can cause some more issues, the bloating and the gas. So you need to heal your gut first, but after it's healed, the fermented foods can help you stay healthy. Some other things you can do are to take supplemental probiotics, okay, besides getting them in your food. They contain good bacteria. They have multiple strains of millions and billions of the variety of probiotics in there, and that helps your gut function more effectively. For some people, though, with the severe leaky gut, probiotics may make their symptoms worse at first. So rule out any organic problems, like I talked about, with your medical practitioner, and heal your gut, and then adding probiotics often does help. But we need more than just the probiotics, right? That's just one step. So diet and maintaining your gut health through diet is just so important. I can't reiterate that enough. Now, this might be a surprise to you, but exercise can actually change the composition of your gut microbiome. We have about 300 to 500 different species of bacteria in our digestive tract. And some of the microorganisms are harmful to our health, but many of them are beneficial and help our body run smoothly. So movement and exercise is another step in that process. Studies have indicated that you can change your gut microbiome in just 30 days. That's pretty amazing, right? So when you're eating healthy, depending upon what you're drinking, or the food you're eating, so what you're putting in your body, like medications and supplements, and even exercise and lifestyle factors, all of those can help affect your gut health. Here's another factor that often surprises my clients, but stress is a key factor to gut health and how you manage it, okay? So when your digestion is compromised, your body's underproduce the neurotransmitters. And the serotonin, like I mentioned a little bit ago, that is one of the chemical messengers that's produced in our gut. Many people feel 80 to 90% is produced in our small intestine. If you have low serotonin, then you probably have anxiety, depression, maybe some other mental health issues. You just have general feelings of sadness, okay? So when you are stressed, you make poor food choices, right? But then stress in and of itself can lead to inflammation in the body. And if we don't handle the stress properly and manage it properly, then our body becomes inflamed, which makes our gut health compromised, as well as it can lead to chronic health issues and disease. So all of this kind of plays together to either help the health of your body or to hurt it. Sleep is another key factor in our overall health, but in our gut health, okay? Because what happens when we sleep is our cortisol levels decrease and the gut can repair itself. So there is a connection between poor sleep and the bacterial environment of your gut. Getting enough sleep keeps your cortisol levels low and allows time for that the repair to occur with our cells all over, but in our gut, okay? And so if you're not getting proper sleep, then your body and your gut are not going to be able to repair themselves, okay? So be sure to be looking at the workshop workbook that I provided you, because it has some other information in there that you would like. Remember, I'm going to be giving you a lot of information. Don't get overwhelmed. The key is just to start somewhere with a baby step, okay? All right, one simple tip is you can eat slow and chew your food, okay? This lets your body know that it is time to start the digestive process. So many of us now eat on the run and we just shove the food into our mouth as we're on our way to our next task or requirement, or just due to the various demands in life, right? But we need to take time and slow down when we're eating. You need to give yourself at least 15 to 20 minutes to slowly eat and digest your food. All right, so I have given you a lot of information today. So let's just do a little recap and summarization, okay? Our gut is responsible for our body working properly, because that is where the absorption of nutrients occurs, which goes out to our body to allow our systems to function, okay? And so our body, the nutrients are absorbed there in our gut. So that's why gut health is so key. You can heal your gut through proper diet and exercise, managing your stress, and by getting enough sleep. All right, so the topic we've been talking about is gut health, right? And please remember that this is for educational purposes only. I'm not a medical doctor, and so I always recommend that if you want to make any modifications in your nutrition or lifestyle, that you always talk to your medical practitioner first, okay? So we're talking about digestive symptoms and anything like that. They can also cause stress in your life, right? If you continually have that, that can cause you stress, because you might wish you could go out in public without experiencing the diarrhea, the belching, the constipation, and the pain and the bloating. What about if you're having to go find a restroom? First thing when you go into a restaurant or a building, or maybe you miss out on going to social activities because you are worried that you might have an emergency situation regarding your digestive system. And that's really no way to live, right? Everybody can incorporate proper gut health into their life. And some of the things that we've talked about today can go a really long way in helping you increase your good bacteria and decrease the bad bacteria. So even if you aren't experiencing symptoms right now, it's really important to practice proper gut health, because I've already explained a lot about how important gut health is just to our overall body and health, right? All right, so let me tell you how managing my own gut health has impacted my own life. So I had extreme digestive issues for about 15 to 16 years. Probably started before that, because I remember that it seemed like all of a sudden I couldn't eat anything with chili powder or like pizza sauce or tomato sauce. I realize now, in thinking back over it, that it probably began after having 2 bouts of food poisoning within just a couple of years of each other. And on one of those, I had to be hospitalized. So I really believe that was the beginning, and all that ruined my gut health. I did see a lot of doctors, conventional and alternative. I did have a celiac test done, you know, the endoscopy. I had a lactose intolerance test done, and the doctors said no, I didn't have either one of those. The only thing definite was I had a slow gallbladder motility test. Well, I kept researching because I was still experiencing all these symptoms. And so I did find a functional medicine practitioner. I did an elimination diet, and I did find out, you know, I had some thyroid issues going on, as well as the IBS and the SIBO. But what I have learned since all of that is There are still some foods that I cannot eat, or I can only eat sometimes, okay? But my GI symptoms and issues have cleared so much more. Sometimes when I travel, I do have to be careful and watch what I eat, and I do take some digestive enzymes, but overall, I am so much better. So I want you to think a moment how much your life could change for the better, just like mine did. And I really want to help you make your life healthier and easier. So I'm going to share with you the system that worked for me. So you can use all the information I shared with you already in this workshop to start feeling better and improving your gut health, or you can get up and go going a lot faster and easier by getting help from me, and I have a one-on-one program. So this is a system that I've used to help my body get back working properly, and it's greatly improved my digestive system. I'm feeling much better. I'm able to sleep and handle stress better. I've been able to keep my weight down. I don't have to avoid going out in public. And I've been able to figure out which foods actually bother me and other ones that I can eat. I have more energy, and plus I've used the same system with clients who've experienced the same symptoms that you're having and who are feeling much better. So it's called Nourished from the Inside Out. And basically, it builds upon the information that we've talked about, but it takes it a little bit step further because it's personalized for you. Imagine just having a system that's designed for your lifestyle, your wants, and your particular needs. It's a personalized plan that's designed to give you knowledge and tools that you need to start making shifts in the food that you're eating to improve your gut health, okay? So why work with me one-on-one? Well, that's because when we work together, we use tiny steps to figure out what's triggering your body and your symptoms so that your body can function like it was created to do, right? So that you can start feeling better. And when you work with a health and wellness coach like myself, we can help you identify the root causes, create those small steps, and also help keep you accountable. A new pair of eyes can sometimes help you see patterns that you haven't been able to see so far. So I want to help you acquire the knowledge and tools because I want you to have a more balanced digestive system, and I want you to know that you are not alone. Okay, I know when I was going through it, I felt all alone. It was hard to find any of the information back then, but I want you to know that I really do understand. So here's what you get with my program. It's a 90-day program. It includes a detailed health history form with a food journal. We identify patterns you might be experiencing. We develop an individualized plan and summary for you. You have private one-on-one sessions with me and the ability to communicate between sessions. And after completing this program, Nourished from the Inside Out, many of my clients are free from gut pain, the inflammation, and overall digestive disruption. They're able to go out in public again. They've figured out what foods they can and cannot eat, and they just have better energy and can sleep better. Here's a testimonial from one of my clients, LR. After only 2 to 3 weeks, she noted that she's feeling better. She has more energy, less cravings and bloating, and she has decreased pain. So she is a success story. She's learning to eat healthy. She's learning what works and what doesn't with her body. And so she's improving her health and decreasing the symptoms. And she's learning this, and it's becoming a habit. So I'd love to schedule a call with you. You can message me, you can email me, and we'll just set up a time to talk and see if we'd be a good fit together. You know, I want to hear a little bit about your story, and you can hear how I work with clients, and then we'll figure out if we can work together and if we'll be a good fit. I really want to help you be the best that God created you to be. I really believe that we all have potential and possibilities, but when we're not feeling good, it affects our mood and our energy level, and so we aren't able to live up to our potential, right? And if you do sign up and work with me, I have a bonus. It's called 4 Ways to Ditch Digestive Distress. And these are just some simple practical tips to help you continue to decrease symptoms and improve your health. All right, another testimonial. This is from one of my clients, Felinda. She was having a lot of stress and feelings of overwhelm, and those manifested themselves in digestive distress like diarrhea, stomach cramping, and she had occasional heartburn. But once she began working with me after only 6 weeks, she was so excited. She was having very little digestive symptoms, less stress. She was able to sleep better, and that really wasn't one of her original goals, but that's kind of what happened. And then she was feeling so much more energetic. She kept setting additional goals and action steps beyond what she originally wanted to accomplish. Because once you start feeling better, you have energy to accomplish more, right? So how do you get started? All you have to do is you can send me an email. You can reply to the email when you signed up for this. You can send it to my email address at leah@nurturingyourlife.com, or you can go to my website, nurturingyourlife.com/contact, and then we'll set up a call. So let me go over some frequently asked questions on this topic before we close for this evening. So let's see. Okay, the first one is, what are the signs of dehydration and why is that important to gut health? So the main signs of dehydration are you're not having to urinate, or you have very dark yellow urine, okay? And so why does this have anything to do with gut health, Leah, okay? Well, remember when we talked about drinking about half your body weight in ounces of water daily, give or take a little bit? Water plays a big part in your gut health and your entire body systems, right? In order for your body to function. So you want to be sure you're hydrating for your body to work properly. The easiest way to do that is to be having enough water. And the easiest way to know if you're having enough water is you look at the color of your urine. And so if it's very dark yellow, you aren't drinking enough water. If it's pale yellow or almost clear, you probably are drinking enough. And then you also can note if you're not going to the bathroom very often, then that's another sign of dehydration. All right, so what is celiac disease? And I know I talked briefly about it a little bit earlier, but let me dive in a little bit more. When people have symptoms of digestion and the digestive distress problems like we've talked about earlier, sometimes they become really worried that they might have celiac disease. Well, celiac disease is when your small intestine is sensitive to gluten and in foods that have gluten in it, like wheat, barley, rye, and sometimes oats. It makes it difficult to digest food, and the small and the intestine is damaged. And so, like I mentioned, this is an autoimmune issue. And so you can be tested for this if you think you have it, and if you should by your medical practitioner. And people who have celiac disease have to avoid gluten in order to not cause further damage. Another question that I'm asked all the time is, how do I know if I have a food sensitivity? Well, there are various types of tests that can be done to indicate if you have any kind of a food sensitivity or an allergy. Keep in mind, though, we all have different levels of sensitivities to foods or chemicals, right? I know for me personally, I cannot eat gluten, okay? They tend, or food dyes and chemicals, foods with a lot of chemicals in it, they tend to give me a lot of digestive issues, plus I get really bad headaches, okay? So talk to your medical practitioner for information about what tests you could have to figure out if you do have a sensitivity or an allergy to a certain food. Another question I get asked is, I've heard that an elimination diet protocol can be an effective way of dealing with food sensitivities and improving gut health. Well, if you're interested in trying an elimination diet, I can help you with that through my program. Remember, we talked about reducing or eliminating foods that may be contributing to the growth of the bad bacteria, and that could be causing symptoms. So that's kind of one thing that I do work with clients on. And then we move into foods that will nourish and heal your body and gut. All right, here's another one. Can children have problems with their gut health? Well, the answer is yes, they can. The immune system starts developing very quickly in a baby's life, and it's very important that they get proper nutrition, right? You want their gut bacteria to be properly nourished as they grow. Here's a quick story. A friend of mine's daughter had a baby. And so this mama developed an infection. And so the doctor put the mama on antibiotics. She was breastfeeding. And so soon after, though, her baby was having a lot of problems, was screaming all the time, wouldn't sleep. And so they didn't know what was going on. Well, a couple of weeks later, the mama started taking probiotics, which would also be dispersed through the breast milk, right? And her baby calmed down. So you've probably seen that in your own health in the past when you've had to take antibiotics and you've had digestive issues. If you started taking probiotics, or even if you ate some yogurt with probiotics in it, your symptoms perhaps calm down. So we all need gut support, right? So remember way back at the beginning of this workshop, I told you I would have a special bonus for you if you stayed until the end. Well, the special bonus is called Kick Your Sugar Cravings in 5. And because sugar is so key to poor gut health, I wanted to provide a little bit of extra help with kicking those sugar cravings so that you can start improving your gut health starting even today. So you can get your copy by going to nurturingyourlife.com/contact, or you can email me at leah@nurturingyourlife.com. All right, so we are going to wrap up for tonight. I want to thank you for joining me. Thank you to those of you who were here live. Thank you for those who are joining me in the replay. And I hope you're excited and you're interested in healing your gut and finding ways to be healthier. I don't see any questions from anybody. But I want you to remember, your health starts with your gut, which actually starts with what food and what you drink and all your daily habits. Those are really important for our overall health and for our gut health, right? Remember, the food you eat is something that you actually have control over, right? Nobody is forcing you to eat any kind of food, okay? So cherish yourself, because you are of value and you want to do everything you can to improve your gut health and your overall health. So I hope you can join me, reach out to me, and I'll be glad to talk with you about the program and what all is involved. And if you have any other questions, just reach out to me. So I look forward to seeing you, and I hope you have a good evening.